Hi, and welcome to my studio. In this video, I'll be showing you how I design and make costumes for my photo shoots. Let's get started. If you're not familiar with my work, I'm a visual artist with a focus on mask making. I also have a background in fashion design and create costumes to accompany my masks. I find it's a really good way to express the characters I create. My first step will be washing and ironing my fabric. Then I'm going to lay out my paper pattern and add weights to keep the paper in place as I cut. Next up, assembly. My first step will be matching the front and back side seams and sewing them together. Then I'll match the front and back sleeve seams. Before attaching the sleeves, I'm going to finish the side seams of the robe and sleeves separately. I'm using an overlock stitch for finishing. I'm personally not a fan of this finish, but I was on a tight deadline. When I'm not in a rush, I like to finish my seams with better techniques for a more couture finish. This is day 2 of robe construction, and I'm working on binding the front opening of the robe. This is one finishing technique I like to use that creates a high-end finish to clothing. I've cut strips of fabric on the bias and am sewing them to form one long piece. Woven fabric is composed of fibers running lengthwise and crosswise, essentially creating a 90-degree angle with one another. Bias is fabric that's been cut on a diagonal or 45-degree angle between the cross grain and straight grain. Bias is what gives stretch and suppleness to woven fabrics. It's perfect for finishing curved areas like necklines. Once my strips are sewn together, I'll press the seams flat. Pressing is a very important step in clothing construction because it helps the garment lay better. This is the step that gives clothing a polished look. It may seem like a waste of time, but it is the one thing I found in my many years as a designer that really creates the magic of a finished garment. After pressing my bias strips, I'll pin the strips to the front edge of my robe to prep it for sewing. After I've attached the edge of the bias strip to the front edge of the robe, I'll trim down the seam allowance to about 1/4 inch. Trimming is a really important step as well because it helps reduce bulk in the seams and creates a professional finish. Today is day 3 of construction, and I'm working on adding a drawstring channel. A drawstring is a great way to add flexibility to the fit of a garment and accommodates many different body sizes. For this part, I'm marking the front, side, and back waist with a pin, making sure the channel lies parallel to the floor. The drawstring channel is made from bias cut fabric. You can buy bias tape ready-made at the store, but it's easy enough to make at home, especially if you want the fabric to match. By the way, if there's a technique or demo you'd like to see on this channel, drop a comment below. I'm sewing the channel on the inside of the robe along the top and bottom edges. As I'm sewing, I'm making sure the channel is aligned correctly. If I could have done something differently on this project, I would have marked the waistline on my paper pattern, then transfer the markings to my fabric during the cutting stage. But that's sometimes how the design process goes. As long as the channel is fairly straight, I'll be happy. After inserting the drawstring into the channel, the only thing left to do are the hems for the sleeves and bottom of the robe. To do this, I turn the raw edge of the hem towards the inside of the garment by 1/2 inch. I'll repeat the process, turning up the edge again by another 1/2 inch, lightly press and secure the fold with pins before sewing the hem down. And it's done! Let's take a look at some beauty shots of the finished piece. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to receive notifications for when new videos drop. Thanks for watching!